Hello everybody, Peter of England bringing you an update on Area 52 and its importance to you. As it says in the strapline, Area 52 was created just for you. So if you haven't joined yet, I would consider going to area52.life and joining. I'm bringing today an update to all those people, the first tranche of individuals who have ordered the number plates, the ID card, the declaration of nationality, and also the digitally downloadable diplomatic passport, which is obviously available on the site directly. So, as I touched on in my previous video, for all of those out there that are wondering how we are possibly going to pull off what we are attempting to pull off, then what I would suggest is you go to the site and you either download the QR code or you take a still shot of this and go and read that document. That document gives the credibility and the oversight and overview of the strategy that Area 52 is. For those of you who aren't certain about what Area 52 is, it's a nexus point, it's a realm, it's a meeting point for minds that are looking to change the world in quite a dramatic, draconian way, but not through a system of outright revolution or bloodshed or causing damage to people and property. Just the opposite. This is like the way that water would seep into the basement of a property when the area has become waterlogged. It's a form of osmosis, if you will. So this is what we are trying to do here. We are trying to bring like-minded people together so we can make a surge of energetic repopulation. And how we'll do that is we have a defined territory and we have people like you who have joined and are contributing to this growth and development. So without me going into too many more details there, go to the website. There is lots of information there. But for all of the people who are probably now in receipt of their number plates, the number plates are like so. They are diplomatic number plates. The certificate, which is actually, we changed the wording on it, we called it a declaration of nationality. The certificate looks something like this, and the ID card that is a diplomatic card, not to be used for travel, but to be used for identity at the side of the road, is a precursor to you being able to re-establish your status. Now, some people have questioned the role of diplomacy, and they've also questioned the legitimacy of number plates. So that's what I'm going to touch on today. That's the ground force now of what we are speaking to you about. Because some people have said, oh, if I put these number plates onto my car, then I'm going to be stopped by the police. And probably that's the worst scenario that's been addressed, that, oh, you'll get pulled over every 5 minutes. Now, that's not the case because the police have got a lot more better things to do than be pulling over cars. However, for those people who would be concerned about that, or traveling with their partners, or maybe not so well committed zealots as we, the main legislation and the dangers here I will outline very quickly. The thing that the police would potentially pull you over on is something called the Vehicle Exercise and Registrations Act, 1994. It's section 42.1 and 42.1 and 42.2. So that is, it's an offense to use or keep a vehicle on a public road without registration plates fixed in a proper manner. So specifically, that then comes onto something called what's called the Road Vehicles Display and Registration Marks Regulations 2001. So it stipulates what the font is to be, what the color is to be, front and back, and how the plates are supposed to be displayed. That's the trap for the vehicle number plate recognition system, so that they can track you and see where you're going. They can fine you, they can do whatever, give you parking tickets. So the offense of not displaying any plates on your car at all will be the same as displaying Area 52 number plates. But above all, don't forget that these are diplomatic plates. So the argument by the police officer or the patrol car that's pulled you over is going to be, these number plates, we can't really verify them, and what's going on here type of argument, whereby you will then come along and say, well, I'm a diplomat working for a diplomatic mission, and I am on a series of functions under the 1933 Montevideo Convention on the Rights and Duties of States. As a fledgling new and up-and-coming state, I have a duty as a diplomat, showing the card, to communicate and do various things within the host country to promote and propagate the country. So that's what I'm on. Now, people will say, oh, okay, well, if you look at that from the, I think it's the 1961 Vienna Convention, that it has to be the host country that invites you into its country. But that's not actually true at all. So that's something that I'm going to touch on in a minute. But to carry on with the plates, to have these plates on your car or no plates on your car at all, it's what's called a summary offense. It's only triable in a magistrate's court. It's not serious. You're not going to get your car confiscated. The only reason you'll get your car confiscated or towed away or impounded roadside is if you've got no insurance. Now, for you people, you know you've got insurance. The only thing is, at that particular moment, when the policeman pulls you over to make the inquiry, on a worst case scenario, maybe after 1 month, maybe after 1 hour, but probably more likely never at all. The worst of the offense is going to be that he says, well, have you got insurance, sir? Have you got a driving license? And you will show these documents. So you have insurance, but he'll then come along and say maybe, well, your insurance is not valid because it doesn't bear the same registration number as, but you do have insurance. So the quickest and easiest fix to it is possibly be creative in your estimation. I don't know, officer. Yes, okay, well, if that's a problem and you see this being a major problem, we can always discuss it in court if you're prepared to give me a ticket. But if not, I claim my diplomatic immunity on here and I'd like to proceed as. The worst case is you take the number plates off and therefore you're back to stage one, as you were prior to this. So we have to be creative about it, we have to be intelligent about it, and if the worst scenario comes to it, you drive your car back home, the policeman's given you a warning and a ticket, then you'll end up in magistrate's court, and what I would suggest is you pay the fine with a HMRC Citibank check, a WEA bank check, or a bill of exchange. Problem solved. As for the insurance aspect, what I would suggest sincerely is, if that became controversial in any way, you can show that you are self-insured. So this is a very important point, and this is something we're going to be offering and rolling out to you in the weeks ahead. It's something that was proposed in 2016, but I had other things to do, and we never really got the insurance aspect out for vehicles. According to, and we'll just use this as the scenario, but it's the same for people in Australia or New Zealand or Canada, the United States, Germany. If you look at what the average cost of a third-party repair on a car is for a private vehicle in the United Kingdom, according to the Association of British Insurers, motor insurers, the average bill for an accident is just under £5,000 sterling. So that's around about 6,200 euro, okay, for our Irish viewers. So with that in mind, the third-party damage only is around about 1,000. Yeah, so that's around about £1,000 of that 5,000 is for the damage to the third party. So what I would say is it's not beyond the realm of possibility that you could, if you were ingenious enough, but you will have to pledge this, as I did in 2011-12, pledge an amount or put an open check with some third party whereby you could prove that you had facilitated the ability to pay, and therefore they can't what they can do is they can argue the monopolization of the insurance industry, but they can't say that you weren't insured because you were. Okay, so that in a nutshell I think covers the aspect of these things. And I think for the worst case scenario, for the vanguard of you out there who are looking to help change the world, £1,000 potential fine paid with a Weir Bank instrument isn't beyond the credibility gap for what we're suggesting you to do. And don't forget, when I did my number plates thing in 2011 through 2012, I was on the road for nearly 4 months before I finally got pulled over by the police at Stansted Airport. Please go back and look at the ancient videos on that. Now, the next thing is that people have been asking me, okay, well, we maintain that we are pretending or wanting to be diplomats, but what do we have to actually substantiate it and prove that we are? Well, what I would do then is to say that there are two major pieces of legislation. One primarily on this is what's called the 1933 Montevideo Convention on the Rights and Duties of States. The convention, therefore, is a strategic tool for a new fledgling state, Area 52. This is your argument for the judge, for the policeman who says we have no recognition of whatever you claim to be. For a new fledgling state to create its international footprint, it has a duty and obligation to extend what's called reciprocal arrangements to other host states by actively sending its diplomats. What's the whole rationale and theology behind diplomacy in the first place is for a potential conflict between, whether it's a conflict militarily, whether it's a cultural one, a religious one, or a financial commercial one. It's a obligation on behalf of the new fledgling state to send its diplomats to other countries, whether they are in Poland or Canada, Australia, New Zealand, United States, the United Kingdom, Scotland, Ireland, etc., with a view to explain to that relevant government the practices, the ideology, and the expertise that it can bring. And so that, my friends, is what I would suggest is your start-off point, your getting off on the right foot point for any stoppage or any instruction that you want to give a judge or any nosy person or body that seems to want to, shall we say, stop you in your daily duties of diplomacy. Okay, so I think I've covered everything there. I don't think I've left anything out. And so what I want to do is just to end this now. I think I've been running for about 12 minutes so far, 14 minutes or so. What I want to do is for the last few minutes, give you a bit of a round up or down or sideways of why you really need to start looking at Area 52 as a independency, as a separated area for you to find help and protection within. And that's because of the global trick that's being perpetrated on everybody. Let's just use the example at the moment of the situation in Ukraine, because we're coming up now to the end of February. Donald Trump's only been in office 30-odd days, 34 days, and what it seems to be now that this war that's been raging within 34 days of Trump coming into office, lots of positive things are being initiated. And I think, would like to explain to you, it's all a cinema. Putin and Zelensky are on the same side. Putin and Trump and Starmer and Macron are on the same side. You've just had Macron meeting with Donald Trump in the United States. Trump is at the moment the savior of the United States, simply now saying that he's ready to sign a deal, a minerals deal for precious metals and such like, with Ukraine, coming up to an offer by Zelensky just to step down, move away, and just pretend it all never happened, with all the possible supposed billions of dollars having flown left or right, if they've actually ever flown at all. Do you know? I don't know. It can't be proven. No one knows. So the problem here is, let's just touch on this situation to highlight it all at the moment. You've got Elon Musk, the prince in waiting, being vilified by the left press, along with Trump now, who's becoming the wonder boy to save the world, negotiating with Putin, maybe looking to end the war. Starmer, the communist, the raging atheist, Bolshevik communist in the United Kingdom, setting the stage and making it all very uncomfortable for everyone, saying he'll send troops into Ukraine if necessary. Prepping the ground for Trump and Musk and his cohorts to eventually be seen to have tripped and tricked you all. Because Trump is nothing but an Oppo-same puppet. Musk, what's he doing where he's doing? Everybody in the world nearly everybody looks at Musk as being this technological wunderkind who's there to save the world. He's got these businesses that have just come from nowhere, and I assure you, if the Clintons alone didn't want him on the block, he'd have been gone and found overdosed in his car somewhere. So it's a distraction, it's a cinema, it's a theater deliberately being played out. And what I would say to all of you who are out there doubting this, I mean, can you remember the incident with Trump's right ear? Go and have a look at on any of the videos. There's a guy that got hit by a hypersonic round out of a high caliber rifle, supposedly, and with the theater and the Iwo Jima brave soldier depiction of the photograph of Trump punching the air and the Secret Service propping him up, they made it out to be that he was a chosen one. He was being protected almost by God, a bit like Joan of Arc on the field of battle. So it's stage managed, and none of it is as it seems. Putin is a young global socialist brought up, as was Macron, as was Theresa May, as was Merkel, as was Trudeau, as was Ahern in New Zealand, as was, I mentioned Trudeau, as was Sunak. So they're all part of the same gang. And if, for example, Donald Trump or Putin, just to use two examples, were serious enemies of the West and not co-partners in this global mafia, then what Putin or Trump might like to explain to you is that Michelle Obama wasn't in fact a woman. He is a bloke. He, in turn, might have disclosed the fact that it is common knowledge, look at Xavier Poussin's book on Becoming Brigitte, that all of the clan, the global elites, know full well that Brigitte Macron is nothing other than Jean-Michel Henri Trogneux, born February the 11th, 1945, who is in fact a full transgender pedophile who commenced the illicit relationship with Macron at the age when he was 14, though the papers have claimed he was 17. It was 39 at the time, and so that is what's called statutory rape, and a lot of the French press are now becoming more complicit in breaking this. Now, Trump knows about this. Starmer knows about it. Farage, you can bet your ass, knows about it. But as they're all in this league of gentlemen together, they make no effort to disclose any of it. So all the war atrocities, all the cost of the Ukraine war, both to the lives of Ukrainian people, Russian people, the destruction of property, the harvesting of organs of people on the battlefield, wounded soldiers not quite dead, trafficking of children. For those who want to go out there and see these type of things, it's findable. If you go on BitChute and go on Rumble, you can see there have been mass atrocities perpetrated. So all that Trump does is offer you jam tomorrow. He offers to reveal the Epstein files. He offers to reveal information about the Kennedy assassination. He offers to reveal it's all like it was before, jam tomorrow. Or, as the Irish used to say at the time of the Great Famine, or the British said to the Irish, live today, cow, for tomorrow you will get grass. So this is the part I'm coming to. Area 52 exposes all of this. I want you to embrace it because collectively we can be something that far outweighs the intricacies of just one person here and one person there. I'm making a plan provisionally for a mass rendezvous in Europe this summer. So for all of those who want to join, there is a possibility that we could get Clarkson, Hammond and May on this grand tour. And what we're looking to do is begin a VE Day of our own, because Europe is totally defunct. That means all European legislation, all European official dogma, regulations, and law is extinct, never happened, because it was all based on fraud. So hopefully this is getting through to you the magnificence of the plan and the sheer importance of it and the weight of it. It doesn't seem as if it's percolated into anyone's mind at a velocity subject to making a difference. So please pass this video on, pass the QR code on, read it and tell me what you think of it, because not many people have commented on it as if it didn't exist. Okay, so thank you very much. Peter of England saying goodbye.